Fueled by C4, Cellucor, and Extend. Use the code Clydesdale to get 20% off at checkout at c4energy.com. On Clydesdale Media, where we bring you the widest array of content here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifier so you're first to know when new episodes are available. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clydesdale Media Friday night at the CrossFit Games. What is going on? Jess just got out of the shower, so that's nice. Jim just got out of the shower, so that's nice. And yeah, I still got to take one. So there we go. Damn it, Bruce.
Bruce. Aw, see? Well,
I'm about sick of this. I'm about ready to fire this crew and start off another one. Maybe I can get Lauren on to come and talk about dogs and how they
got them, baby.
You know, we have neighbors in the executive suite here at the Super 8 Hotel. Logan Ewing in the chat. Got to see him yesterday. Got to give him a big old bear hug. Yeah, Steve just gave me shit, so I tried to walk past. And we'll talk about that. So Logan's dad, Steve, has an athlete out of CrossFit 970, right? Is that right, Logan? A teen, yeah, teen athlete. That morning chalk up featured all the athletes going to the games and omitted their athlete. So yeah, he asked if we could cover that. I got with our team person. There seemed to be some communication stuff there, but we'll get him on. And I think he did better than Steve told me that he did better than they anticipated. So yeah, good stuff there. We may have to bring him on the big show, but we'll get him on. So yeah, fun day at the games today. Before we get started, our day starts every morning with a dumpster being emptied right outside of our window at 5 freaking a.m. every morning. What in the world? How much garbage is coming out of one place that has to be emptied every single day? Come on, you're supposed to bring the expert analysis.
I mean, I feel like this hotel is probably never as full as it is this. Probably not.
Yeah. So have we told the listeners who's in our hotel?
No.
So yeah, our biggest viewed video was a riff I did back in the day on one Miss Sporty Beth in the UK.
Oh, that's who you're telling them?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to share it with, like, we've got Fury.
Well, we got other people here too, but we have Sporty Beth in our hotel. Yeah, and yeah. And then I go to the Coliseum tonight to go watch Elena, and I get my ticket. And who am I sitting beside? Freaking Sporty Beth. Sporty Beth. That's who I keep running into. Not Stacy Tovar. Not Mathilde Garness. Well, maybe now she can make it through the day. But yes, freaking Sporty Beth. I go down this morning after the dumpster to work on editing some video, and there's Sporty Beth waiting for me. I also got to see Raw Forte. A lot of Australians are staying here. Toastmasters is not paying us, Bruce. We're not putting on Toastmasters until we sign a contract. And they told Charlie today we'll be in touch. So in the business world, we know what that means. So we get to the games this morning. I'm a little tired and cranky. A little rough start to the day here in the presidential suite with not much space to do anything. But we made it to the games, and then it started with teams and the total.
Yep, the lift for the teams. Same format as Indy, 2 lifts.
2 lifts. Stupid.
I didn't love it. Mostly because there's 10, was there 20 teams? 10 teams per?
Yeah, probably 10.
Did they do 4? No way. Did they do 4? Yeah, 4 each of them. And it took like 12 or 14 minutes because each platform would go every like, I don't think they went every 20 seconds. Maybe they did. I can't remember if there was a break.
I think they went every 30 seconds.
30. So it took a while to do one lift, and you did that 4 times per heat. And I just feel like you could have done, and I know people want to be able to see one team lift at a time, but like I just feel like they would have done the same as the Masters and done the 3-minute window and just let people lift. It would've been
Yeah. 3 minutes for the men, snatch. 3 minutes for the women, snatch, or vice versa. So you can just keep loading the bar or whatever. But they had a women's platform and a men's platform for every team.
Yep.
They made them lift at the same time. It was just dumb. And then you have people like Tola and who can snatch 335, only do 305 because he doesn't want to take the risk.
Right.
And it just kind of fell flat for me.
It was just okay.
Bruce asks, is Amy on a date with Con? I know that he is on her list of 5, that if she gets a yes, she gets a hall pass.
Jake Douglas.
Oh yeah.
Hey, he's done. So
No matter. He's
I
like,
just
He has plenty of time.
He's available.
He can carry your camera bag this weekend.
Yeah.
So, Bruce is about to drink some Moscato. Okay, that's good. Why is Scott so angry? Bruce pissed him off already? Yeah, because he started with, I'm here for Jamie. Yeah,
he
see?
said he's here for Jamie.
He did.
He can be angry.
Yeah, all right.
So then we went, so I'm going to just keep pushing forward. So then we went to, and there were a couple big lifts, and it was all the women. Kelsey Keel, 265 pounds.
Yes.
No. And Mia Hesketh went to 55, I think. But then the big news is the Ben Smith torn patella.
Oh,
I missed that.
So on his last clean and jerk, he hit the clean, went to jerk it, tried to catch it in the rack again while his front foot was still extended.
oh,
And immediately went to the floor, ripped off his knee sleeve, and started rubbing it. Heard tonight that it's a torn patella, and he continued to compete.
Because I'd say they didn't pull.
wow,
I guess the next event wasn't
wow.
interesting. I mean, they had to do the handstand hold and the ring hold. Interesting.
Well,
I don't think tomorrow's gonna feel very good at it.
No. He's probably in the ice barrel from the time the competition ended until he wakes up tomorrow morning. Wouldn't leaving the knee sleeve on help? You would think it would help with swelling.
yeah.
But I think so I have a torn meniscus, and sometimes you can massage it to feel better by like getting it to spin in there, because my tear isn't like the whole way through.
Yeah.
If you can get the tear to move, and I'm wondering if that's what he thought happened. And if he could get the meniscus to move, he'd be okay. But this was much more than that.
Nice.
And the guy has had his share of knee injuries, so he probably knows it better than we do. So that ended the team competition for that event. And then we went to Alpaca, which I think a lot of people were excited because it was announced last year.
Yep.
It had a cool video,
Yep.
like kind of the premise behind it. And they did it this year, but it was not an exact match. Last year was a descending rep count on the clean and kettlebell
Oh,
clean and
yeah.
jerks. This year it was much less. And I think, thank God. Yeah, they went 20, 15, 10 last year. And this year it was just 12 across.
Maybe it was 20 or 15, 10 last year.
That's what I just said, Jess.
I know, I'm
So it wrecked people.
It did wreck people. For the people that made it back to the final sled, holy cow,
yeah.
that looked awful.
The full sled with all the kettlebells on it.
For the men, it's
It's a
what,
lot,
500?
So it was 6 70-pound kettlebells. Yep, sure. I trust your math. And for the women, it was 50, right? 53.
All I know is like 500 pounds.
Yeah, I think they were 50.
Yeah. So you're talking over 300 pounds just in the kettlebells, not
Not
the
the
sled.
I think they said like their weight was like 5.
Bruce says, Rosie, love all the picture posting. She's killing it. Like, I hate to compliment her so much, but I think I've complimented her all day. Her pictures almost make me tear up. Some of the emotion that she catches and captures in a still shot is freaking amazing. So I'm hoping not to tear up now. So back to alpaca.
Yeah.
So on the men's side, Roman was the favorite coming in. And he pretty much was the favorite going
Is
out.
that who you picked? I thought you picked Pat.
I did.
Yeah.
But remember, I was so far behind on the Heat One app that I was taking Hail Marys,
Okay.
hoping that everybody would take it Roman and something would happen. And I failed even more. But Roman won. Jack Farlow needed help, got a second place in that, and Brent Fikowski, solid
Yeah,
third place
right,
performance. His buddy from Canada, Pat Vellner, on the other hand,
I was heartbroken out there. I picked
Bruce says to talking to the mic.
I picked Medeiros for that.
How'd that go for you?
Just okay.
Yeah.
But Pat, holy smokes. I don't know. I don't know if he was pushing the pace too hard or what. Heard some complaints about the rope. And holy cow, if you guys are scrolling social media and seeing some of these athletes, like someone go look at James Sprague's post. It is gross.
Oh,
So yeah, apparently the ropes were not friendly. But yeah, Pat slid down and tried to a couple more times, kept sliding down. He ended up making the last one, but he had to waste a lot of time. He had a really good pace going.
And then the Hopper struggle bus started with that event.
Yeah.
First sled out of the gate, couldn't get it to move. Not sure if it was shoes or what. Heard some interesting stories about shoes today. I don't want to name any names, but some companies would not let the athletes use shoes that were a better fit for the event because they're under contract and want them to sell the shoes that are out now.
Right. Unfortunate.
And what upset me is it's probably my favorite shoe company that did that I've confirmed with. And I think that sucks that they did that to the athlete. Because at the end of the day, this is their profession. Yes, they're repping you, but the reason they're repping you is because they're good at what they do. Don't mess up their Bruce, that is not my favorite shoe company by far. So anyway, yeah, crazy stuff. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, if they're wearing your shoe because they like it, you should just let them wear the shoe that, you know, like that's
Whether it's last year's model or
Yeah.
this year's model, it still has the same emblem on it. Right?
Yep.
So then we get to the women. Emma Carey comes out hot.
Yep.
Maybe too hot. Yeah, Kenneth, it's the Converse Nano. They're Converse Metcon or the Converse whatever. I think Alex Gazan showed in Alpaca that she's the best rope climber in the world.
Her,
Side by side with Laura, who I thought was.
yeah, her rope climbs were impeccable. Up and down, quick, tight, like they were impeccable. She didn't, the last rope climb, I was like, oh, she might look like slightly more petite here, but the first 5, I looked the same from the first to the 5th.
So I watched this on the broadcast while you were out. Stacy Tovar was timing her rests between rope climbs. The first 2 sets were never more than 30 seconds. On the last set, it was 45 seconds, maybe 43.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, that 6th rope, she took a little bit longer to rest for that 6th one, and it looked, I mean, only to me, I felt like I could say most people watching it, but like, oh, that looks great.
Bruce, if you've not met Alex Gazan, she is not a small statured woman.
No.
I would say she might be bigger than Laura.
No, I wouldn't say she's bigger than Laura.
I wouldn't say she's bigger than Laura.
Jamie,
I don't think
I could say that the moon was white and you would tell me it's green.
Just the green.
I do not think she's bigger than Laura.
I'd say they're maybe similar.
Right. My view of Laura was she's a known rock climber. Upper body pulling is what she does. That's what her hobby was before we got into CrossFit. And she is amazing at rope climbs. Gazan takes it to another level.
We're not necessarily talking height either. Like size.
Yeah, I would say they're very similar. I think Alex, and it may be the hair. Alex seems just a tidge taller.
Oh, I wasn't necessarily talking.
I was saying height, yeah, just like body wise.
I would say they're very similar in height.
Yeah.
I think they're very similar in stature.
Yeah.
And then Emmett Hall came out of nowhere.
Dude. So that's the thing. That sled was eating people up. Men, women, people were stopping 4 or 5 times in that little last, what is it, 20 the last section?
Yeah.
And she pushed it just like
it was the first one.
Yeah. It was insane.
Funny story about that. I've been embedded with Rudy Berger for the whole season, Masters athlete. His wife and coach is coaching Emmett Hall this weekend. And David Shrunky, because their coach got sick and had to fly back to Sweden. So Lynette got her first event win as a coach in the elite division on the first day on the job. Yeah, kind of a neat little backstory. Kenneth is calling me a diva. He's saying that I'm being a diva tonight, and Bruce is really getting to me. Okay. So there it is. Maybe I am a diva. Do we want to talk about Gazan shoes and the thought process behind almost getting disqualified?
So Alex was one of the ones who stopped multiple times in that last 20-foot section. Couldn't get it going. I think she felt like she wasn't getting some traction, or like so she ripped her shoes off, thinking
Cause she, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of us standing on the sidelines immediately were like, no, like that's not gonna help anything.
So hot. Heat would burn.
Well, and you know that Jake is shooting for us this weekend. Jake lost his damn mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lost it completely.
Shoes came off, then I think she tried to push, and
One shoe came off.
Yeah.
Then she took the second shoe off.
then she took her socks off because the socks were gonna slide, obviously.
Then the head judge said,
and then
no,
they
no,
were
no.
like, no.
Yeah, exactly, Bruce. But and then Jake said she couldn't untie them because her grips kept getting in the way.
Which you didn't need grip at that point.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, she was struggling to get them back on, which she needed them on to finish. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you're just panicking, probably panicking at that
Yeah,
point because
yeah.
people are coming and
Yeah.
going, and you're just trying to finish the darn event.
So Roman and Tall win that event. Leaderboard, and at that point, we're one event in. Alexis Raptis is all top fives at that moment.
Yes.
And we have to say that. Like, she's killing the game this weekend,
Yes.
right? She's not in first right this moment, but her consistency this weekend
Mhm.
is, if she continues that through tomorrow, is only going to make it harder to beat her
Yeah.
by the end. And then Jamie and I were looking at the leaderboard, and all of a sudden Roman has a 100-point lead. Like, quick.
Yeah.
And we were almost like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He can't be beat.
Yeah.
Like, it would take a collapse tomorrow. And he's not gonna.
It's like only 70 or less than that now. So it's possible. I mean, if there's some more events like today, it's possible.
Well, the only thing that Jamie and I agree on ever is that Jeff Adler was going to win this thing. And we were hoping to have that happen.
It's still.
I know. I said that, but I
Yeah,
didn't
but
want to
Jeff,
fight again.
Keep getting more first, Jeff. We gotta get some.
What Roman is doing is Froning Fraser-esque.
Yeah.
And now he just doesn't have to make any mistakes. And a 5K, you just have to run. The total is not going to be a problem for him. He won't win it, but he's going to do well enough. And the problem is Adler could win those two, but is he going to win by enough to make it matter?
Yeah. That's the biggest thing going against Jeff.
So then we get to, I know what everybody wants to talk about. The worst named event
Ski back.
of the weekend, ski bag.
Raptis is not Canadian. I actually think she's from Michigan. Originally.
Kenneth, we'll talk about that. There's a couple things that happened at the press conference we'll talk about. But I can confirm that. So, ski bag. We knew Colton was going to be good on the squats.
Yes.
Knew that.
Right.
Could he hang on the ski erg with Roman?
That was the question.
And
First he
little
gotta
did we
jump
know,
to get
we got to talk about Chandler.
Dude.
Like, Chandler, sneaky great weekend.
Dude.
So Chandler, Roman, and Colton are going for the win on ski bag. And then by the end of this, it was really Sam Quant and Colton.
Okay.
But Colton, once he was hammering that ski erg. Once he got the handles,
Once they got the handles.
he hammered it. And then when he got the bag on his back, it was fast.
Bale the hay on or a bag of feed.
And that place blew up. And when they interviewed him afterwards, which I thought was a cool move, because old CrossFit last year would have only interviewed someone in the final heat. They got him to come back out after the event and interviewed him. And when they interviewed him and he talked about the autoimmune disorder and all that stuff, the place just erupted. It was so loud in there.
Sad I missed that.
Why did you miss that, Jamie?
I went and ran a community 5K.
I asked Jamie on her way to the community 5K, what's your time going to be in the 5K? She said, I'm just going to jog it, maybe get some interviews, maybe 24, 25 minutes.
Well, to be fair, I wasn't that far off from what I said I was going to do. It's quite short.
Well, 20 minutes and 24 minutes are big difference.
8-ish pace. I think I only ran like 7 to 20.
You never gave me a pace. No.
I asked her if you PR,
I did not.
but you did not.
But no.
Yeah.
It was hot out there.
So anyway, Colton wins for the men. This was the only hiccup for Alexis Raptis on the weekend so far.
Yeah.
And it was kind of mind-boggling. She just couldn't either balance the bag or it was just too heavy for her. And I can't imagine it being too heavy for her.
Yeah.
She had like either a hamstring or I can't remember what her injury was. She like had to spend several months rebuilding her squat. So it's possible there's some hesitation still there.
But the story of the women's side was the fastest time coming into the final heat was 5:50.
Is that Kerstetter?
It was Kerstetter.
Okay.
5:50.91. Laura Horvath did it in 4:36.18. She made a mockery of it. And nobody was close to Laura in the heat.
Right.
She crushed it. Bruce laughs at the jog.
Ken,
Yeah,
go run your 5K.
I flat out sprinted my fastest 5K and it was 30 minutes. So yeah, jog 24. Colton just stone forced the whole time, makes it even better. Stone faced. Yeah. When he knows he's good at something, he knows he's good at it.
Yeah.
Who would have thought Chandler would have a better finish than Hopper? We'll talk about that because Amy asked a question in the press conference that spoke to that a little bit. So yeah. And then Kenneth said he was supposed to run a 5K today.
Yeah, go run it.
Go run it.
What the heck?
You still have 3 minutes.
No, you can do it anytime during the week. And compare with you still got time. The Indies do it tomorrow. You can do it tomorrow.
Now Bruce loves Jess's braids. So he's complimenting Jamie again because she's the one that put the braids in. So Colton and Laura for the win. Also, we had another team event. The row hold, bike hold. Talk about ugly, like just woof. Strict muscle up into a static hold.
Yeah.
And then you can accumulate calories while you're at the top of a dip.
Yeah.
That looked awful.
It did look awful. Before this event, we kind of talked about it and how, I don't know, kind of dumb of an event this was, and I figured it would be like extremely boring. I thought it was kind of exciting.
I'm not saying anything about the excitement of the event. I would not want to attempt, but you captured the reel perfectly with Kelly Stone from Omnia in the handstand hold. Like you see all the other teams breaking and breaking and breaking, and she just keeps going and going
And
and
no
going.
movement.
Right.
It was perfection.
So Kelly's been a friend of the show since we started. She was a guest 20 something.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Before she was on Titan Games, before she like all of that. And so I've been following her for a long time. She does a whole lot of handstand videos. And that is her party trick.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see it on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job, Bruce, going to the gym all week. And that you're not talking about your shed, right? That you're talking about like an actual
You went to the
facility?
box every day?
So that team event went. Do we know what the standings are on the team? I think Invictus is in the lead.
Yeah, they were in the lead going into that.
Fernandez, Chop, El Chop,
Did- Obviously. Invictus is still in the lead. Freeman is still third. Wow.
and Oslo Blue is in second.
And that's what happened. Because this one still, you can't like, I can't see any of the finishes, like you can't see anything. Indeed.
Kenneth's party trick is dipping out of the party when no one is looking. Ouchama.
And Mayhem Independence is up fifth.
AB CrossFit, my surprise pick to be in the top 10. I think they may have gotten cut.
So TTT CrossFit jumped up to 30th. So they were below. So they make their and talk about them on the run.
We didn't. So there was a 5K in the middle of this, which Jamie indicated was short, but even short, it was there were teams doing 19-minute 5Ks holding a rope
Yeah.
with all four members. That's pretty damn impressive. But Hannah Hardy on the middle of the 5K went blackout, and they had to carry her at points. When interviewed later in the day, says she doesn't even remember anything after lap 1.
Wow.
But her team carried her.
Literally.
Oh, I saw a picture of that.
Yes, he's farmer carrying her. It's insane.
Yeah. And she recovered. She got some food and some fluids and was back on the floor for events 5 or 6 or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah, so your cut line, HT made it in, and Cape CrossFit Wolfpack, AB CrossFit Mayhem, 32nd, Hemplo, SA CrossFit Rotherham, Q21 CrossFit Fly High, CrossFit Marvel Black, and CrossFit, oh no, I believe was the withdrawal. So yeah, that's your cut teams.
And actually, Raf, I can't ever remember his last name. Allison Scudd's partner, Roth. He hit Rhino. They just made it past the cut. He was an analyst for us last year at the games. And so, friend of the show, their backs were against the wall and they just got in.
They're 23rd.
I think they had a great last event. You can't tell because you can't post the thing. Kenneth says super teams just don't work. Call a spade a spade. I think Proven might think otherwise. They're in third.
Yeah.
Where's Franco's Misfits?
10th.
Oof.
Double
Wolf.
little.
Okay.
OBA's in 7th, Newcastle Heavy's in 8th. Ginas, who was in first on day 1, is 11.
Bruce asks, would having the ability to substitute improve the team's comp?
Like
You know what
substitute mid, like
if someone got hurt, you could substitute someone in. But I have always thought that the best way to run the team's comp is to have a 6-person team with 4 people on the floor.
I could see that, but I don't know.
I just think it would elevate everything with people that do what they're good at, and but it'll never happen.
No.
It's hard enough to get 2 men and 2 women to get along. From what I've heard from the teams that I've talked to, getting 6 is like almost impossible. I like Alexis too, Kenneth. She's a cool lady.
Omnia is an 18th.
Yeah, that I had them way higher.
I did too. I think I had them like 3rd. Invictus Unconquerable, Chandler's wife. They're in 19th.
There is an injury to one of the men.
I know they couldn't get past they couldn't do the ring muscle up.
And they, and he did a super light clean and jerk. Because of it as well.
And they're still.
And they're still in, they still, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, Bruce. I think it does make it more of a team sport. It's just, I just don't know. I think CrossFit just has bigger fish to fry right now than to fix the teams.
Yeah.
So
Kilo 2 is
that's been all right.
17. We're above, yeah.
So then we finished the day with Helena. I love the event. I love when you run outside the arena and come back in. I don't know why I love that. And they did such a cool job with the drone,
Yeah.
like with the footage of the people going out the tunnel and coming back in. And I've got to give that to a little prop to ESPN. The boom cameras outside to be able to follow the track made that, even watching inside the arena on the Jumbotron,
Awesome.
pretty, yeah.
It was
You could see where everybody was. You knew how it was going. Man, Kenneth wrote a novel. You'll get me fired up if someone withdraws and they let someone who got cut take their spot, but they wouldn't let the team whose dude got injured, but they with the alternate compete.
Well, we don't know if that's happening.
Right.
If you're speaking of like Ellie possibly pulling out because she's injured and then moving Kelly Baker up. We don't know. To be quite honest, I have a feeling that even if Ellie said that she was going to withdraw, I don't think they would give the spot to Kelly. I don't think it's happening.
Well, and I think it's a money thing, right?
I can
If
see
if Ellie stays in and just gets a really bad time.
I actually think 30th and 31st get the exact same money. So I don't know.
But if she withdraws, is she still 30th or 31st? Or does she go to the bottom of the list? That's where I think it gets dicey.
Yeah, that is a good question.
Once we know answers to this tomorrow, we'll discuss it and kind of like where we are with that. But Helena was a fun event to watch. There was the women's race, even though it wasn't for the winner, because Jamie Simmons dominated that.
What about Ariel Long?
She did fantastic as well. Yeah.
The final heat
Dude,
was so tight. Alexis and Ariel and who else was in that heat? Laura getting the no reps at the end. I mean, it was loud in there. Everybody was on their feet.
Yeah. And it was kind of, I mean, it was running workout. We knew that, right? It was really dependent on the 400 speed, but then it came down to those snatches.
Yeah. It's how fast could you
And not getting
cycle, right?
Costly no reps, exactly right.
Yeah, Jamie Simmons looked good in all the ways.
I look before the last heat of men's went, I was looking at it and she would have been 10th in the men's. So I don't know. Wow. There were a couple of times in that final heat of men's, so I don't know where she would have fully ended up, probably top 12, 13, which is insane. And then Adler are the only person to go sub 8. So apparently that dude can run.
Yeah. And in the interview afterwards, he looked at the crowd and said, "You guys didn't know I could run, did you?"
I did not know he could run that well. The work capacity out of him, Jamie, and Emma Carey was just incredible.
And even Bethany was pretty impressive.
Yeah. I think almost everyone did their bar muscle ups unbroken. Except for, I don't remember if Ron came down, but Hopper and Kelly.
Kelly.
And those are the two people that got cut tonight, like 31st place.
Yeah.
Kelly and Hopper are both 31st place, and they both broke their bar muscle ups.
If Kelly doesn't come down, she doesn't get cut.
Yes,
And she came down with 1 rep to go.
yes.
One freaking
Third
rep to
round,
go.
11 came down. Yes, they come on 12 hours later, correct?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that stream lags so that, and I think in 12 hours it'll be available on YouTube. That's the way I understood that. We'll look into that.
I don't know. I get ESPN, so it's not a
They would
problem
like
for
your
me.
code. Hi, Jeff.
Zach Ansaldo says Horvath for no rep.
Yeah, Laura got.
She did, yeah, she got a very costly no reps at the end of Helena.
Yeah.
And it was all on the snatches. Not coming, and they were making a point of emphasis that the dumbbell had to be over your head. If you left it out in front at all, it was a no rep. And she was not the only one that got no rep. Ariel Lowen got no repped. Kelly Baker got no repped. A lot of people that I watched. Yeah. The judge, we have not heard complaints about the judging like we have in years past. And Jamie and I talked today. We were watching some of the events going, they are really holding the standard this year. And so even though there were costly no reps, I didn't hear anybody complain about the no reps being unfair.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a few people were like, for what? But I don't know.
Well, everybody,
Yeah.
you're always going to think you're.
Yeah.
But it has not. It isn't.
Bruce,
It
I
isn't
can't
a big
even
topic of
with you,
conversation.
Jeff. You last time you said this, you were lying, so we're not going there.
So anyway, that was that. Jeff Adler dominated, crushed. And you could tell he played the game. He paced the run and just hung with Roman and Chandler until it was time to hit the gas. And then when he hit it, he blew a lead on that last 400.
Yeah.
And it just kept opening and opening and opening. And I'm excited to see what he does on this 5K
I am
tomorrow.
too. I'm not gonna change my pick, but because I don't know if that kind of speed is going to translate to full 3. Well, it's not full 3 miles, but
Well, and I think it's safe to say now at this point in the game, but Jake showed me video of Jeff and Alex Kazan working out, Jeff Adler and Alex Kazan doing track work with Hinshaw prior to the games. And in that video, it was obvious that Jeff had figured out how to run.
okay. That's awesome. I'm really, really excited to see him just keep hammering these
It's gonna
events.
be good.
Yeah, Jeff, I used to work with the judges too. But I can tell you when I was with the judging crew, they were good and they were bad. It was all about the head judge and where they placed people by the end of the weekend. And when you get to the games, you better know who the good are and the bad don't get to come.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that happened last year or the year before.
Yeah. Oh, Jay Birch thinks Bethany's going to win the 5K.
My money is on Emily Rolfe.
And we both are picking Emily for the 5K.
Emily won every run. She just was way too slow on the snatches in Helena. But
Wait,
and with-
and her muscle, just the mental speed was not.
yeah.
Jeff, Bruce says hi. He can't see you.
So, Jeff Hicks says watching the Hinshaw podcast on Adler was insane. Giddy up for Adler.
I have a cousin. Jeff Hicks.
You do?
Mhm.
Is that who that is?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Um,
It looks like a farming picture.
Jeff Birchfield says, I know what you mean. I was picked to judge the finals at TFX this year. What are you saying? You're not a good judge, Jeff? And you shouldn't have been picked, or that it was a proper thing in place because you were picked? Or do we just get to pick which way we go? So anyway, that ended that. And then we had the cuts of 10 people. I have not seen any official word from CrossFit who those 10 people are, but we can see the leaderboard. Jamie, do you want to pull that up and run through the names of people who got cut? Some of my favorites on the women's side for sure.
All right, so 31st, Kelly Baker, 32nd, Fee, 33rd, Matilde, 34th, Ella Bunger, 35th, Manon Anganese, 36th, Michelle Basnet, 37th, Victoria Campos, 38th, Shahad Boudebs, 39th, Emily DeRoy, and Emma McQuaid had withdrawn before Helena.
Yep. Okay.
Do we know what went something from Alpaca?
Don't know.
Or
They haven't seen anything on Emma. And when I ask,
she did ski bags.
I usually get due to injury. Because with HIPAA rules, they can't
Oh,
really
yeah.
say anything more than that.
Sydney Wells didn't have a great Helena, but she snuck in 30th. She was the one on the cut line.
So let's go to the men.
The men.
Michelle Basnet, yes, Bruce, she got cut.
Yeah.
And she's been hanging out in the media room all weekend, and she had a lot of tape on her right leg. And you could tell it was impacting her run severely on Helena.
So just snuck in 30th, Fabian Benito. 31st, Jason Hopper. 32nd, Kelly and Souza. 33rd, Cole Grayshaver. 34th, Cole Sager. 35th, Alex Vigneault. 36th, Michael Wesolowski. 37th, Kaike Cerveni. 38th, your boy Jake Douglas. She didn't finish last. 39th, Arthur Semenov.
And then
Jason Smith.
Smith was a withdrawal.
Not really a withdrawal.
Oh man, thanks, Jeff. That's really nice of you to say. He said, thanks, Bruce. Been following Savon for a long time. And in the last few months, been following here as well. Scott and team are killing it as well. Thank you so much. And Bruce agreed. Wow, you guys are the best.
Yeah.
So those are the cuts. I hate seeing Fee cut. I hate seeing Kelly cut. Hate seeing Matilde cut. But I was so excited for Elisa Fuliano, who talked to me right before the competition about how she paid all this money to get here from Italy. And she was so excited about the events for Saturday. So she gets to do those. I'm happy for her. She is cute as a damn button. She's little, she's very tiny. Fit in my shirt pocket. So yeah, it's she actually killed Helena.
Making it on Sunday too. Yeah, 10th in Helena. She did great.
Yeah. And then she was excited about the 5K and the Olympic total. Yeah. And gymnastics has never been an issue for her. So that's gonna be a fun thing to watch for her. Just a little dark horse to keep your eye on tomorrow. So then we went to the press conference. And 3 of the Clydesdale crew got a question in. I was trying to take a back seat and let everybody else have a turn. Amy asked Chandler about what it was like. He seems so relaxed and calm and having fun this year. Was any part of that related to his wife
Being a newlywed.
and his wife competing at the games as well? And he said, well, I'm really just faking it till I make it. But that, yes, being there with someone who understands everything that goes on at the games and having someone to talk with and all of that, was really cool. So, it was fun to hear him talk. He went on much longer about that, and we'll clip it. We'll clip it when they release it.
Yeah.
And put that out for everybody. Then Jamie asked Alexis Raptis about that she had 5 of 6 top 5 finishes. Does she focus on the 5 top 5s or the one hiccup, or does she just forget it all? And she took that in a way that says it gives her confidence knowing that everything she's been working on is paying off.
And she's wiping the slate clean and tomorrow's a brand new, like in her mind, it completely resets. Like there's cut and now she's in a new phase, a whole new weekend. So
Clock says 2 old veterans, Vino and Sager, unceremoniously cut from the CrossFit Games. It's kind of sad. Yeah. Cole left the floor, stopped in the tunnel, gave a wave to the crowd, and that was pretty much it, because he knew at that point.
Yeah.
He did not do well in his heat. He was in the first heat.
Yeah.
He knew at that point it was over. I think Vino, as great of an athlete is, he has other things in his life.
He hasn't looked awesome out there this week to me. I don't know.
Bruce says Sager should have retired last year. I would contend that his boss should not have made a major announcement right before the games. I think he should have let Cole have this year, then make his retirement announcement instead of trying to steal the spotlight from his athlete and forcing him to ask questions about what his role will be in the future instead of letting him focus on the games. That is my 2 cents.
Yeah, it's unnecessary pressure right before games for sure.
Yeah. Earlier you argued with me over that point. Now you've given in.
You should have been happy.
But Cole's my cousin, right? So
So you
I wanted him to make it on for the family name. Then people are saying Colton for spirit of the games. How about Colton for top 10? And that's even better. Because I think if he can get through the 5K without too much damage, he has a shot at top 10. His runs on Helena did not give me confidence for the 5K. But everybody knows that he is going to give everything he has on that 5K. Everything he has. And we don't know who's nicked up, who's
True.
right.
How about Yellow Hoste throwing some bows in that
Oh
run?
my gosh. For those of you without ESPN, Bruce, you missed a great rubbing his racing moment in the Helena when Pat had the lead on the run. Yellow Hosta shoved his way right past Pat, gave him a little hip check, but Pat kept catching him on the muscle ups and the snatches.
And it lit a fire under Pat's butt. And the next round, Pat kind of ran like this.
Pat ran chicken wing.
It was wonderful.
I love Yella.
Yeah.
I like that element that he brings, because he knows that that's the one area where he can kind of get an advantage, and he took it.
Are you picking him for the 5K?
I already did.
You did. I think
Yeah.
I'm still going with Lazar.
Yella Hosta and Emily Raw for Mike's picks. So Jeff, I'd love to see Colton in the top 10 too. Oink oink. I would love to see Colton in the top 10, but this dude has been cut both years he was at the games. He has made it past the first cut for the first time ever. And that is a huge, huge accomplishment for Colton. That dude has worked so hard to fill holes, to get rid of gaps, and we should celebrate the fact that he has made it a step further. There's a really good chance he's going to make the cut again because he's in 11th or 12th.
Yeah.
So he has a pretty significant lead on the cut line. But let's not forget what he's accomplished already is huge compared to where he has been in the past. 12th. So he has 8-spot lead on the cut.
Yeah, 354 points, 20th right now has 279. So 80 point.
Yeah. Jeff J. Birch says in the interval 48-inch jump overs, true jump overs, not saying he can't do them, but they will be very taxing. It's got to be, you can put your hands on the box and go.
So I watched the announcement from the Coliseum.
Okay.
And it looked to me like there's two. I need to go back and pull this workout up. But in the video, when I watched them show the workout, they clear the box one time, the one set of the box, and then so I think there might be two different box sites, and one is over and one is on. Because they showed someone jumping on the box, they showed someone clearing the box.
Okay.
I don't know.
I missed it because I was trying to get to the press conference. So the final question that the Clydesdale crew had was that I asked Roman if having a year of training without worrying about getting into the States for the games helped him with his training because he is putting on a show this year with an epic weekend thus far. And he said very much so. And then they told Rosa, his translator, communicated a story that Roman said that he loves driving around Wisconsin, which he considers to be his hometown, with his Russian music on and just checking out the sights and just driving. And that's how he kind of just goes and relaxes and all of that. What Bruce was referencing before, we will mention, Roman also took the mic without question and said that when he was a young boy about 10 years ago, he set an alarm, got up in the middle of the night to watch the CrossFit Open, and Dave Castro became his hero. And with that, Dave got kind of emotional, and they both stood up and they embraced each other on the stage. And it was just a kind of a magical moment. The other magical moment that happened that I'm sure you're going to see a clip of is that Chandler Smith went to get his L1.
Yeah, it was cute.
Talked about the timing of it being right when Chandler didn't make the games last year. And that as a former wrestler, you're taught to go back to your basics. And that the L1 really reset him into going back and learning his basics and getting him reset for this season. And as soon as he was done, Dave said, someone from CrossFit.com better get that clipped and out on the web tonight.
Yeah, it was really good. I liked his answer. I think from what we've seen, especially out of Boz, he has gone back to the basics, right? So I think Chandler has done everything he needed to this past year by taking that L1 and revisiting some of that stuff. I have the workout pulled up. Thank you, hun. The intervals, it's 2 intervals, 21 box jump overs at 20 and 24 inches. That is the clear over. So you'll have to clear that. Then a 15 calorie row, then 9 burpee box jump overs, and then 21 box jump overs, then 15 calorie row, then 9 burpee box jump overs, 36, 48 inches. So when you get to the tall box, you get to jump on it. I envision it.
Okay.
So you'll clear the box at the 2024, and when you get to 3648, you can jump on it.
48.
I have $5 for feet. 48 inches, yeah, that's no. So Colton is going to have to put some springs in his shoes.
Can't they give that kid a break?
I think it's only 9 though. I mean, I think it's only the last.
Well, Jamie's using like 3 font on her phone. There we go.
Like, I think these, I don't know. I saw the video of it and they showed it clearing and then jumping on it.
So okay. So that anything else from the press conference? They did ask, someone asked about this being the last Friday Night Lights in Coliseum in Madison. And then Chris Madigan, the head of media, asked each member to talk about their favorite moment in the Coliseum, which was kind of a nice little thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, there wasn't really any other major news coming out of that, right?
No.
No announcements, no anything.
No. Dave abruptly ended the conference when he was asked to share any tidbits with tomorrow.
So just behind the curtain, in past press conferences in past years, there would be an address by the GM of sport, and the programmer. This year, there's none of that. It's straight to questions and let's get the hell out of here.
Well, it was late. That was nice of him.
So, we talked about ESPN last night, but the last thing I just want to mention is, well, it's maybe not the last thing, but the one thing I want to mention is there's something that has to be done with the broadcast. And here it is. This is me. I haven't even told you guys this.
Okay.
There's too many damn cameramen on the floor.
Oh, we've talked about this.
We did?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, you've got to be sick of it. 'Cause I'm not even one.
With as good as cameras are today, do you need a camera 3 feet in front of a person to get a face shot?
No, and let the audience speak. I think most of us are sick of that zoomed in shot and just watching one person work. Like so far that panned out view is amazing. You can see, if you're watching the live feed, you can see what's happening on the floor. Like it.
In the Coliseum, when there's a 10-person heat and they do the wide shot from the side, you can see them move down the floor. You know who's winning by how much. You can tell who they are. Not that iPhone 4 that was up there for the age groups.
Yeah.
But the thing that's up that they're doing now, my goodness. To put it bluntly, like, I'm tired of the crotch shots.
Yeah.
Like, that's enough. And I want to see the action. I want to know who's in first, who's in second, who's in third.
Yeah.
If you show me one person, it doesn't do that.
Right. That doesn't
And-
tell the sport side of it.
There's so many damn cameramen on the floor. You cannot get a shot if you're not out there.
Right.
Like, you have to shoot into holes, and like an NFL quarterback, when the opening is like a sliver, you've got to get that ball right in there to get that shot, or it's so.
It's just unnecessary. One floor cameraman should be able to, like, if they want to get a couple, like, he should be able to even up at the finish line and get what he wants, if he wants to zoom in or speak about somebody's technique or something. But for the most part, it needs to be, which they did like a floor shot and a split screen of one person for something else, right? Like, that's fine. Like, have one cameraman out there.
And in the case where, like, Laura is so far in front on the ski bag, right? She's so far in front, you're not missing anything by giving her a solo shot for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
But we don't need it for like 2 minutes.
Right. Well, yeah, because then you're missing the other race. Like, she's already basically won that.
Yeah, Jay Birch. They only focus on a few athletes. I want to see what they are all doing. Well, I talked about that with people today. Like, someone said, well, did you see so-and-so in Alpaca? They never made the broadcast. I couldn't even tell you what they did. Because I spent the morning in the media room collecting everything. So I watched it on the feed. It was horrific. Now the Coliseum action that these ESPN is getting is much superior than what it was last year.
Yeah.
Much. And I would even contend that the North Park stuff is better, but we have too many close-ups.
Way too many.
So what you're saying is you don't want me to shoot close-ups.
No,
You should be, not the broadcast.
and we want them out of your way. That's what we want.
So that's one thing. And then my last question I posed to Jamie earlier, because Jamie and I have been fighting all day, just so you guys know. Doesn't matter what it's about. It's when the fastest route to the hotel was a 20-minute argument. It felt like 20 because you're wrong.
Well, take a guess who's right.
He knows that you bully people.
No, you know.
So anyway, I posed this question. It has been put out there by one Mr. Noah Olson that he is going team next year with Chandler Smith. He said it on our podcast well before this season really even got going, that this would be his last season and him and Chandler going team. Currently, Chandler Smith is in either second or third place.
He's still in second.
Second. Okay, second. Aaron, thank you, Aaron. Thank you. If Chandler podiums this year, does he still go team with Noah?
I've been trying to think about that more. I feel like we're jinxing him by even talking about this.
But it's all the pieces are out there.
I know. It sucks because it's a lot of money, and yes, it's probably would the same sponsors come on knowing that he may. I mean, I feel like that would just be the agent's job. Like, do you want this guy and he's going team, or?
So the winner of the CrossFit Games gets 40,000, somewhere, $350,000. Right. What does the winner of the team championship get? 100? Split in 4? That's a crazy difference. And I think what podium it's 6 figures by yourself.
Yeah, I think so. Well, like I told you, just because if you're saying because he podiums and he sticks around to do that again, I think that is a bad way to look at it. Because I think just because if he podiums this year, will he even be top 10 next year? That I feel like the programming is completely different this year. But maybe maybe his reset and going back to the basics really did change things for him. I don't know.
When he looks like he's having a ball.
Well, yeah, it's fun to win.
If you have not seen the reel we put out about him with him singing the Rob Thomas Santana song "Smooth," you got to go find that one. It cracked me up so much. Amy grabbed that footage. How she got the audio, I did have to put it in some software to crank up the audio a little bit on it. But other than that, it is so good. Jaybird says no, he doesn't go team. I think that's what he's saying.
He's saying he can't see Bruce's comments.
Oh,
They're not listening to us. They're talking.
okay. But earlier, I think Jaybird said no, right there.
Oh.
He doesn't go team. I believe that if you podium, there's no way you go team. That there's business left out there.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't win. If you podium and don't win, there's business left undone.
Yeah.
And you'll kick yourself the rest of your life, because really going team means that you're not giving up, but you're conceding your shot at becoming a games champion.
Mhm. I think he would just be such a great team partner. I think him and Noah on team would be amazing.
Well, they have years to do that and still be competitive.
Yes.
Here's let me pose this to you. I've been with you all week. You have been bitter that you haven't been able to take the floor as an individual in your bracket, which had an open spot.
Mhm.
Now I tell you, you podiumed, and next year, but we're not going to let you take the floor as an individual. That would kill you,
Well, for what reason?
because we're going to make you go team over here and with your best buddy. You take third place
Yeah.
this year, and you have the option to go team with your friend or try to get to win. Oh my gosh, I've only known you 6 months, but I know damn well that competitive nature of yours. You've told me today you could have podiumed in your bracket.
Because of the programming, I don't think that I ever. That's the one thing that out of the games, like until you see the tests, you don't know. So afterwards, it's like, well, that was made for me.
But it's like playing the lottery. You've got to take your shot.
Well, I'm not that lucky that it would be good for me 2 years in a row. I'm not that lucky. That
Well, the end of this show is brought to you by Debbie Downer.
Debbie down.
we don't know what happened with Jason. He
Didn't look good from the start of the games.
no.
Like, yeah. I don't know. I've heard other analysts say that he quit and just wanted to go home. I would never put that on an athlete without knowing it as a fact.
Yeah. I don't.
Being called a quitter is the worst thing in the world.
He doesn't seem like that kind of a person.
No. I come from a background where being called a quitter is one of the worst things you can be called. And I would never say that about anybody.
Yeah.
Yes, Jay Birch. Yes.
And I do think they will go that route for sure. I mean, they've been doing that anyway.
Yeah, they've been doing that
So
and having a blast doing it.
yeah.
And I think if I'm Noah and Chandler podiums this year, you've got to, as a friend, say, I can't take away your opportunity to do something legendary.
Yeah, I don't.
Because winning the team prize is great and all. It doesn't put you on Mount Rushmore in CrossFit. Winning the games as an individual gets you on the mountain.
Yeah, I think support push. I think Noah would push Chandler to continue on.
Kenneth says, I don't think he would just give up. It's the games. And we don't know if he's hurting. We don't know what's going on. And
Yeah, we never do. Like most people don't even ever really say. I mean, it took Fikowski forever to say that there was actually like something wrong. I don't think
it's been like 3 years and he still hasn't said.
Right. So
He just had a whole lot of tape on the back of his legs.
It usually takes weeks or months for people to tell you, yeah, they were sick or had the flu or I don't know.
We live in a world where athletes don't want to give an excuse. And an injury makes it feel like they're giving an excuse as to why they didn't do well. And I'm not saying he's injured. I have not
Yeah.
talked to Jason Hopper this weekend at all.
He doesn't look injured.
The way he pushed that sled in alpaca this morning, he looked injured. That is a big old football player.
Yep.
And
Well,
he should be able to
Same. They both have,
Yeah.
they both,
every other year. Sam looks that way. Apparently.
I think both of them were like too high, too top heavy. They were almost like lifting the sled and pushing it into the ground. And I saw that on a few people, like people you thought would be good at the sled.
That happened to Gazan at the end.
Yeah.
She was lifting up the back of the
Yeah.
sled and it,
So I think it was a technique thing more so.
Sprague did make the cuts.
Yes. Yep.
He has no fingers left,
Yeah.
but he didn't make the cuts. I'm glad I got to shake his hand before alpaca. So I think that's all I had in my notes. We went a little long tonight.
Yeah.
But you guys have been awesome in the chat. And tomorrow night's an earlier night.
Is it? I think
I think they said the press conference was like 5 something. 6 something.
the last event started at 6.
I don't know. I'm all off whack.
Schedule Saturday. Well, we're starting at 9 a.m. teams,
Then the
and
5K.
then the 5K for
Then
individual,
the total.
and then for so yeah, maybe
And everybody go to Bruce's house where he's gonna sign up for ESPN tomorrow.
4 p.m. is the last heat of the total in the Coliseum. So yeah.
Yeah, so it's an early night tomorrow night. So awesome. We'll get it set up, and Jess fell asleep at the editing booth again.
Huh.
Guys, every night Jess falls asleep with her computer open. Her head just nods forward and her hands are still on the keyboard.
Sorry.
All right, guys, we're going to get some sleep tonight. Hopefully no dumpster in the morning. And we will catch everybody tomorrow night. You guys are the best. Bye-bye.